Success doesn't start with money. It starts with the script running your mind. If your inner code is wired for fear, distraction, and survival, no amount of hustle will ever feel like enough. That's the truth almost no one tells you, because the world keeps pointing you toward what you can buy, not what you quietly think, repeat, and tolerate. But your outer life is only an echo of your inner settings. Until the script changes, the story stays the same. The title you're about to live through, Think Big, Start Small, Act Like the Rich, is not a slogan. It's a formula. Think big. Stretch what your mind believes is possible. Start small. Translate that vision into simple, concrete moves you can execute today. Act like the rich. Behave like someone who respects time, money, focus, and self, long before the world calls you successful. This audiobook is not here to hype you for 10 minutes. It's here to upgrade the way you think, move, and decide. Most people want more from life, but secretly believe they must feel ready first. More time, more certainty, more support, more courage. That belief is a cage. They stand at the edge of their potential, waiting for a perfect moment that never arrives. Rich thinkers live by a different law. Motion creates momentum, and momentum reshapes reality. They start where they are, with what they have, and move daily with serious intent. You are not here to collect motivational quotes. You are here to install a new operating system. Inside this program, you'll learn how to structure your day, manage your mind, protect your energy, and behave like someone who earns respect and builds real results. You'll see how thoughts trigger emotions, emotions drive behavior, and repeated behavior becomes the frequency you broadcast to the world. Change the signal, and over time, your life rearranges around it. Right now, a version of you is running on autopilot, quietly calling a loop of old habits, who I am. But identity is programmable. Every choice either reinforces the old script or writes a new one. If you're tired of starting over, this is your line in the sand. Your current habits have taken you as far as they can. From this moment on, treat every chapter as both a mirror and a tool. A mirror to show you where you're out of alignment, and a tool to give you one clear step today. The shift you want won't arrive as a miracle. It will be built one standard, one decision, one small action at a time. If you're ready to rise above the noise, like the video, it tells YouTube you're choosing awareness over autopilot. Subscribe now, and don't miss the next chapter in your evolution. And remember, the deepest transformation belongs to those who stay until the very end. Chapter 1. Clarity before motion. Most people start their journey with movement. They chase goals, chase results, chase opportunities, chase approval. They run fast, but they run blind. And when you move without clarity, you will always confuse motion with progress. You will feel busy, but you won't get anywhere that matters. Clarity is the foundation of every form of success, because you cannot build a life you want if you don't know what that life actually looks like. Clarity forces you to pause before you plan, reflect before you run, and think before you act. It demands honesty, the type most people spend their whole lives avoiding. But without that honesty, everything you build sits on unstable ground. You can be talented, hardworking, and ambitious, but without clarity, your power gets scattered in 100 useless directions. People don't stay stuck because they're incapable. They stay stuck because they're unclear. They say they want freedom, but choose habits that keep them trapped. They say they want growth, but avoid every challenge that would actually grow them. They say they want success, but cannot define what success means for them. Clarity ends all of that. It cuts through confusion, comparison, and emotional noise. It reveals what matters and what doesn't. It shows you where your energy should go and what you need to walk away from. It is not optional. It is the first step. Why you feel lost without clarity. When your mind is messy, your life becomes messy. A cluttered mind makes cluttered decisions. A confused mind chooses whatever feels easiest. When you don't know what matters, everything feels urgent, and you spend your days reacting instead of acting. And that reaction-based living is dangerous. It creates anxiety. It fuels comparison. It makes you believe you're behind even when you're exactly where you should be. People compare themselves not because they are failing, but because they do not have a clear definition of what success means for themselves. Without your own target, you will borrow someone else's, and you will always feel behind on a race you never wanted to run. Clarity stops that cycle instantly. It brings your focus back home. It eliminates the false urgency. It dissolves the pressure to keep up with anyone else. And for the first time, you begin living for yourself, not from fear. Ask yourself the questions you avoid. The first step to clarity is not planning. It is honesty. You must ask yourself the questions you've avoided because they reveal the truth you haven't wanted to face. What kind of life do I want? Not what looks good. Not what people expect. Not what I've seen online. What kind of work feels meaningful to me? Who am I when I'm not performing for anyone? What am I pretending not to know? What have I been tolerating that is quietly destroying me? What habits prove I actually want the life I say I want? And what habits prove I don't? The answers to these questions draw the map. If you skip them, you will build a life that impresses others, but empties you. The cost of living without clarity. When you move without clarity, 3 destructive things happen. 1. You chase goals that don't belong to you. You copy trends. You mimic other people's dreams. You follow the crowd and then wonder why you feel disconnected from yourself. 2. You burn out from doing things that don't matter. People aren't overwhelmed because they do too much. They're overwhelmed because they do too much of the wrong things. 3. You waste years drifting between identities. You become whoever the environment shapes you into, whoever people expect you to be, whoever fear allows you to become. But when you get clear, something powerful happens. Your life becomes aligned. You stop running everywhere and start walking somewhere. Clarity is not about knowing the future. It's about knowing your values. People think clarity means having a perfect plan for the next 10 years. It doesn't. Real clarity is about knowing your values, not your timeline. Values anchor you. They decide your standard. They filter your decisions. They determine who belongs in your life and who doesn't. When you know what you value, growth, peace, responsibility, discipline, ambition, your choices become clean. You don't argue with yourself. You don't need 10 opinions. You don't need permission. Values simplify life. They eliminate emotional chaos. They strengthen your identity. The rich don't start big. They start right. People imagine success begins with massive action, grand plans, financial leverage, or extreme confidence. It doesn't. The wealthy think differently because they start with clarity. Before they take action, they ask, does this align with who I want to become? Does this decision match my long-term vision? Will this create more options or more chaos? Is this choice rooted in fear or direction? They don't rush into motion. They don't fill their days with noise. They don't chase everything. They choose intentionally. Thinking big means having a high-level vision. Starting small means having clear, grounded reasons for every step. Weak reasons break under pressure. Strong reasons make consistency effortless. Clarity is your first form of wealth. Forget money. Forget confidence. Forget motivation. Clarity is the first currency of a successful life, because when you know what you want, distraction loses power. Jealousy fades. Fear becomes manageable. Discipline becomes natural. Your mind stops spinning. Your days gain direction. Clarity brings peace. Peace brings focus. Focus brings progress. Progress brings pride. And pride reinforces your identity until you become the kind of person who doesn't quit. The moment clarity arrives, your life shifts. You make better choices. You say no without guilt. You walk away from noise. You stop explaining yourself. You stop justifying your goals. You stop relying on motivation to feel alive. You stop chasing quick wins and start building real foundations. Clarity is not dramatic. It is quiet. It is calm. But it is powerful. Because once you know what matters, everything that doesn't matter becomes obvious and easily removed. Your first task. Before you set goals, before you take action, before you start building anything, sit with yourself and write down the life you want in detail. Not the life others expect, not the life that sounds impressive, the life that feels true, the life that aligns with who you're becoming. This is where your journey begins, not with movement, not with motivation, with clarity. A clear mind builds a clear life, and a clear life becomes unstoppable. Chapter 2. Begin where you are, not where you wish you were. Most people never start their real life because they're waiting for the version of themselves that doesn't exist yet. They wait for more confidence, more time, more money, more clarity, more permission, more certainty, more motivation. The problem is simple. They build their future on a condition that never arrives. And that is why so many dreams die quietly. Not from failure, but from waiting. You cannot build a meaningful life from a fantasy version of yourself. You have to begin with the real you right now, as imperfect, unsure, unprepared, and unpolished as you might feel. Growth does not come from being ready. Growth comes from acting before you feel ready and allowing the process to shape you. The myth of the better moment. There is no perfect moment. There never has been. Life will never hand you a day where everything is aligned, quiet, calm, and convenient enough for you to begin. Your fears won't disappear. Your circumstances won't magically simplify. Your doubts won't politely step aside. The perfect moment is a story your mind uses to protect you from discomfort. It sounds logical. I'll start when I'm more stable. I'll start when I have more support. I'll start when I know exactly what to do. But emotional logic isn't real logic. It is fear disguised as strategy. Every person who has ever created something significant started messy, unsure, and scared. The world remembers their success, but forgets their fear. The truth. You aren't supposed to have everything yet. You are not supposed to know everything before you begin. You're not supposed to have the perfect system. You're not supposed to have all the answers. You're not supposed to be confident on day one. You are supposed to move with what you have. You are supposed to start with the smallest step available. You are supposed to work with the current version of your life, not the ideal one. This is how you build competence, and competence builds confidence. People crave confidence first because they want to feel safe. But confidence is earned, not granted. It comes from doing difficult, imperfect things repeatedly until the fear loses its voice. Use what you have where you are. Most people underestimate what they already possess. You have time, maybe not hours, but minutes that are being wasted. You have skills, maybe not perfect, but useful. You have opportunities, maybe not glamorous, but real. You have tools, maybe not expensive, but available. The issue isn't lack. The issue is disrespect. If you don't respect small beginnings, you'll never handle big outcomes. If you ignore small opportunities, you'll never recognize larger ones. If you waste the time you have now, more time won't solve anything. Life does not reward potential. It rewards usage. What are you doing with what you already have? How are you using your current hours, your current environment, your current energy? Are you waiting for more, or are you extracting everything possible from what's already in your hands? The power of small actions. You don't need to change everything. You need to change one thing today. Start with one new habit, one better decision, 1 hour of focus, one uncomfortable step, one small piece of discipline. People think small steps don't matter, but small steps are the only steps the human brain can handle consistently. These tiny movements compound. They gather energy. They create identity. They shift your trajectory. A 1% shift each day becomes transformation after enough time. Nobody wakes up at the top. They climb, they stumble, they adjust, they move again. You don't need to feel ready. You need to act anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move while fear is still present. Your fear won't disappear before you begin, but it will shrink once you do. Waiting for readiness is how life passes you by. People lose years this way, sometimes decades. They look back and realize the only thing that held them back was not lack of talent, not lack of time, not lack of opportunity, but lack of courage to start messy. Stop living in the future. Build from the present. Living in the future sounds smart, but it is actually procrastination wrapped in optimism. You imagine your future self being bold and decisive, while your present self delays everything. Your future self cannot save you. It doesn't exist. Only the present version of you has power. What you do in the next 24 hours matters more than what you plan for the next 10 years. Your life changes in days, not decades, the moment you stop avoiding action. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. Perfection is the enemy of progress. People wait for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect strategy. And while they wait, someone else with half the resources and twice the courage wins. You don't need perfect. You need progress. You need momentum. You need movement. Messy action will always outperform perfect intention. Always. The secret of people who get ahead. They start before they feel qualified. They start before they feel confident. They start with fear sitting beside them. They start with shaky steps. They start with imperfect tools. They start knowing they will fail and learn. And that is why they rise faster. Success is not given to the people who figure it out. It is given to the people who begin while they are still figuring it out. Your current life is not a limitation. It is your launch pad. Look at your life right now. Not with judgment, with awareness. Where can you begin? What can you do with the next hour? What can you improve before the day ends? What skill can you practice for 5 minutes? What distraction can you remove? You are not behind. You are not late. You are not stuck. You are simply one decision away from motion. Your first real step right now. Choose one small action that aligns with your future. Something so simple you cannot avoid doing it. Then do it today. Not tomorrow. Not when the timing is right. Today. Because the moment you begin, everything shifts. Your mind wakes up. Your confidence rises. Your fear fades. Your energy returns. Your direction becomes clear. Start now. Start small. Start with what you have. Start before you feel ready. Because the version of you who begins, even imperfectly, will become the version of you who wins. Chapter 3. Daily movement builds identity. People think identity is something they discover. It's not. Identity is something you build. Through repetition, through daily choices, through the small actions no one sees but you. Every day you move, even a little, you reinforce the version of yourself you want to become. Every day you avoid, delay, or drift, you reinforce the version you say you're trying to escape. Your identity is not shaped by the big moments, not by breakthroughs, not by motivation spikes, not by New Year's promises or emotional declarations. It is shaped by the invisible days, the quiet days, the days when you don't feel like doing anything, but you still do something. Those days define you more than any moment of excitement ever will. The lie of motivation. People wait for motivation as if it's a reliable engine. But motivation is unstable. It comes in waves, disappears without warning, and often shows up only when the work is easy. If your progress depends on motivation, your life will move in circles. Some days you will feel unstoppable. Some days you will feel useless. And over time, that inconsistency becomes your identity. Someone who starts, gets excited, loses energy, stops, and repeats. Daily movement breaks that pattern. You stop living on emotional highs. You stop depending on inspiration. You stop waiting for the perfect mood. You begin to build from discipline, not desire. And discipline is stable. Discipline is predictable. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline asks what must be done. When you start moving daily, even in small amounts, you become the kind of person who follows through. Not because you feel like it, but because it's who you are. The psychology of small wins. The human brain loves completion. It loves progress. It loves evidence. Every small action you complete becomes proof to your brain that you are someone who takes action. And proof reshapes identity. Do something small every day. Read 1 page. Write 10 lines, learn 1 concept, practice 5 minutes, clean 1 corner, move your body for 10 minutes, or take 1 uncomfortable step. And your brain begins rewriting your self-image. You stop seeing yourself as stuck, inconsistent, or easily discouraged. You begin seeing yourself as capable, reliable, and committed. This shift creates a psychological snowball. Small wins accumulate. Confidence rises. Doubt weakens. Action becomes easier. Not because the tasks are easier, but because you are different. The invisible days are your real power. Everyone has a few strong days. Days of motivation. Days of focus. Days when everything feels aligned. Those days are not special. They're easy. What separates the successful from the average is how they behave on the invisible days. The days no one applauds, the days nobody notices, the days that feel boring, repetitive, and quiet. On those days, the average person stops. But high performers, wealthy thinkers, disciplined people, they keep going. Not with intensity, but with consistency. They are not addicted to results. They are committed to routine. They understand a truth most people avoid. Your future doesn't depend on how intensely you act. It depends on how consistently you act. Effort leaks when thoughts are scattered. When your thoughts are chaotic, your effort becomes inconsistent. Your mind jumps between ideas. You start 5 things and finish none. You confuse activity with progress. You overthink small tasks. You feel tired even when you haven't done anything. Daily movement solves this. It anchors your mind. It gives your day a spine. It reduces overthinking because action takes the place of spiraling. The more you act, the less energy your brain wastes on worry. The more consistent you are, the calmer your mind becomes. The calmer your mind becomes, the easier it is to make decisions. This is why action is not just physical. It is psychological therapy. People who move daily are mentally stronger because they don't allow their mind to stagnate. Consistency rewires your self-image. Your brain has a self-concept, an internal story about who you are. Every day you act, that story shifts. Every day you avoid action, that story also shifts, in the opposite direction. If you do something meaningful every day, even small, your self-trust increases. Your belief grows. Your inner voice becomes supportive. Your confidence becomes grounded. Your emotional stability improves. If you avoid meaningful action, your self-doubt expands. Your fear grows louder. Your inner voice becomes critical. Your confidence collapses. Your identity shrinks. You are training your mind every day, whether you realize it or not. Daily movement. Identity strengthening. Daily avoidance. Identity weakening. Why consistency feels boring and why it should. Most people quit because consistency feels boring. They want novelty, excitement, stimulation, and fireworks. But boredom is not a signal to stop. Boredom is a sign you are on the right path. When something feels routine, it means your brain is adapting. It means the habit is settling into your identity. It means you are crossing from effort into automation. High performers understand this. They seek boredom. They embrace repetition. They value routine over randomness. Boredom is not your enemy. Inconsistency is. Build the non-negotiable one. You don't need a 3-hour morning routine. You don't need 20 habits. You don't need a complex system. You need one non-negotiable action you do every single day, no matter what. One action that anchors your identity. One action that confirms your direction. For example, write for 10 minutes. Read 5 pages. Walk for 15 minutes. Study one concept. Improve a skill for 10 minutes. Clean or organize one space. Practice discipline in one measurable way. One action done every day beats 10 actions done occasionally. Simplicity beats complexity. Consistency beats intensity. The identities you are building right now. Every day, you are becoming someone. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to be. Every action you avoid is a vote for the person you no longer want to be. There is no neutral day. You are either reinforcing progress or reinforcing stagnation. Ask yourself, what identity am I building with my actions today? What identity am I killing with my inaction today? What version of myself will tomorrow inherit? Your future self will thank you for every bit of discipline you practice today and resent you for every bit of avoidance. Your daily movement is a contract with your future. Nothing in your life changes until your daily actions change. You can visualize, journal, dream, and manifest. But until your habits shift, nothing will. Daily movement is a contract you sign with your future. I am willing to become the person who deserves the life I want. This contract is not fancy. It is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It is not dramatic. It is steady, stable, quiet, powerful, and if you honor it, even imperfectly, your future will be built on a foundation no fear can break. Chapter 4. Stop blaming life. Start controlling your decisions. There is a moment in every person's life when they must face a hard truth. Your life is not shaped by what happens to you. It is shaped by how you respond. Most people never reach this moment. They stay trapped in a mindset where life is happening to them instead of happening through them. They blame circumstances, timing, pressure, people, the past, the economy, luck, anything that allows them to avoid turning inward. Blame feels good in the moment. It protects your ego. It gives you a story that makes disappointment easier to swallow. But blame is expensive. It steals your growth. It freezes your potential. It kills your progress quietly, slowly, and permanently. If you want to change your life in a real and lasting way, you must confront this truth. Blame is self-betrayal. Responsibility is freedom. The comfort of blaming everything but yourself. Blame is appealing because it makes you feel right, even when nothing in your life is working. You can blame your job for your lack of progress. You can blame your family for not supporting you. You can blame your past for limiting you. You can blame fear, stress, burnout, or your environment. You can even blame the world for being unfair. And in some cases, you might even be correct. Life isn't fair. Some people do have easier circumstances. And yes, you may have been handed challenges you did not deserve. But correctness doesn't equal progress. You can be right and still stuck. You can be right and still miserable. You can be right and never become who you're meant to be. Responsibility doesn't ask whether something was your fault. Responsibility asks whether you are willing to take control now. You cannot heal while holding on to excuses. Excuses feel protective. They shield you from discomfort. They prevent you from confronting the weight of your own choices. But excuses also hold you hostage. You cannot rise above a problem you keep defending. You cannot fix behaviors you refuse to acknowledge. You cannot build a better life on top of stories that justify staying small. Every time you say, "I can't because," you train your mind to shrink. You teach your brain to accept limitations that don't exist. You make yourself powerless. When you take responsibility, something powerful happens. Your brain stops searching for reasons you can't and starts searching for pathways you can. The difference between blame and responsibility. Most people confuse these two. Blame is about the past. Responsibility is about the future. Blame asks, "Whose fault is this?" Responsibility asks, "What can I do next?" Blame keeps you emotionally stuck. Responsibility moves you forward. Blame keeps you small. Responsibility makes you powerful. Blame is emotional comfort. Responsibility is emotional maturity. When you choose responsibility, you reclaim control. You stop waiting for life to improve, and you start improving your life. You can't control everything, but you can control your choices. You cannot control the family you were born into, the mistakes you made in the past, the way people treat you, the timing of opportunities, the economy, the world. But you can control how you respond, what you focus on, the habits you repeat, the people you allow into your life, the boundaries you set, the discipline you practice, the story you tell yourself every day. That is more than enough to change everything. Your life does not need perfect circumstances. It needs consistent decisions. It needs a strong internal compass. It needs emotional direction, not emotional avoidance. The most dangerous lie: "I had no choice." This sentence destroys lives. People say it because it removes responsibility, but it is almost always a lie. You may not have liked the options. You may have been afraid of the consequences. You may have been overwhelmed. You may have been pressured, but you still had a choice. You always do. And the moment you admit that, you gain power again. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the architect of your future. Responsibility is not self-blame. It's self-leadership. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It doesn't mean beating yourself up. It doesn't mean carrying guilt for situations you didn't create. Responsibility means something stronger and cleaner. I cannot control what happened, but I can control what I do next. It is not self-attack. It is self-direction. When you take responsibility, you upgrade your identity from someone life happens to into someone who shapes their own path. Every decision is a vote for the person you become your life. Right now is a reflection of thousands of tiny decisions. What you allowed, what you ignored, what you repeated, what you tolerated, and what you walked toward or away from. You are not defined by one choice. You are defined by the pattern of choices. Ask yourself, are my decisions leading me toward the life I want, or are they maintaining the life I'm trying to escape? Every decision, even the small, quiet ones, reinforces an identity. You are teaching your brain who you are, and your brain believes you. Reacting versus responding. People who blame tend to react. People who take responsibility respond. A reaction is emotional, fast, and impulsive. A response is intentional, calm, and aligned with your values. Reactions come from fear. Responses come from self-control. Your success will depend not on eliminating emotions, but on developing emotional maturity, the ability to act based on your principles, not your impulses. Accountability is a form of freedom. The moment you say, "This is my responsibility," something shifts inside you. Your energy rises, your clarity sharpens, your discipline awakens, your confidence stabilizes. You no longer wait for someone to save you. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop hoping for a shortcut. You stop outsourcing your power. Accountability is not a burden. It is liberation. The turning point. There comes a moment when you realize your life will only change when you stop narrating your past and start directing your future. This moment is not loud. It's not dramatic. No one sees it but you. It happens quietly, in a room, when you tell yourself the truth. I am done repeating this story. I am done blaming. I am done outsourcing my power. I am ready to lead my life. From that moment on, everything changes. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because when responsibility becomes your default, progress becomes unavoidable. Chapter 5. Act like your name and future are on the line. There is a question most people never ask themselves, but it determines everything about their life. If my future self were watching me today, would they be proud of how I'm showing up? Most people live like the answer doesn't matter. They treat their day like it's disposable. They handle their goals like they're optional. They move like their life has unlimited chances, unlimited resets, unlimited do-overs. But the truth is simple and uncomfortable. Your future is being written right now. Through your habits, your decisions, your effort, your discipline, your follow-through. Whether you realize it or not, your actions today are building your reputation, not just with the world, but with yourself. You are always watching you. People think reputation is about public image. It's not. Your real reputation is built in private, in the moments no one sees, in the things you do when there is no applause, no pressure, no recognition. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust. Every time you break one, you weaken your identity. Your mind pays attention. Your future pays attention. Your confidence pays attention. You see whether you finish what you start. You see when you cut corners. You see when you choose excuses over effort. And over time, you form an identity. Either the identity of someone who shows up, or someone who talks big and does little. Your name is your first asset. People worry about money, status, opportunity, but they forget the first asset every successful person protects is their name. Your name is not just a label. It is a contract. It is a brand. It is a promise. When you act lazily, your name weakens. When you act with integrity, your name strengthens. When you follow through, your name rises in value. Your future relationships, your future opportunities, your future success, they will all be built on the foundation of your name. So ask yourself, what does my name currently represent? Does it stand for discipline, consistency, excellence, responsibility? Or does it stand for delayed potential, broken promises, and average effort? Your name is something you carry every day. Into work, into relationships, into your goals. Protect it. Strengthen it. Live like it matters. Every action is a signal to your future self. Imagine your future self standing beside you today, silently watching how you handle pressure, watching how you treat your goals, watching whether you push yourself or avoid the work. Would you be proud, or would you be disappointed? This is not about guilt. It's about alignment. Every action you take is sending a signal into your future. I am serious, or I am pretending. I am building, or I am stalling. I am disciplined, or I am comfortable. Those signals compound. They create momentum, or regret. People who win live with a standard. Most people live based on how they feel. Winners live based on who they are committed to becoming. When you act like your name and future are on the line, you stop doing the bare minimum. You stop quitting early. You stop negotiating with excuses. You stop lowering your standards to match your mood. You become someone whose actions match their ambition. You become someone whose words mean something. You become someone whose life is built with intention, not impulse. The world may not notice right away, but you will. Growth rarely comes with applause. In the beginning, no one will clap for you. No one will praise your discipline. No one will congratulate your effort. But you will feel it. You will feel your standards rising. You will feel your confidence growing. You will feel your identity strengthening. You will feel your future aligning with your choices. The satisfaction of self-respect is deeper than any external praise. The opposite is also true. When you treat your name lightly, when you break your own promises, when you settle for good enough, when you quit because it's uncomfortable, when you hide from responsibility, your future self feels it too. Your confidence drops, your discipline weakens, your direction blurs, your ambition fades. Every time you avoid the work, you're quietly telling the future version of yourself, I don't care about you enough yet. And that truth hurts, because it's fixable. And fixing it requires looking in the mirror. Move like someone who takes themselves seriously. This doesn't mean being rigid, robotic, or overly intense. It means carrying yourself with intention. It means doing the work even when it's not exciting. It means being consistent even when no one is watching. It means finishing tasks with the same energy you started them. It means holding yourself to a higher standard simply because you can. There is a maturity in this mindset, a quiet power, a grounding force that says, I respect myself too much to move carelessly. There is no shortcut to building a name. You're proud of results can be faked. Confidence cannot. Money can be borrowed. Reputation cannot. Opportunities can be inherited. Character cannot. A strong name is built in the dark, through discipline, honesty, effort, consistency, and accountability. And here is the truth champions understand. When you take your name seriously, life starts taking you seriously too. The question to carry forward every morning, ask yourself, if my future self were watching me today, Would they be proud? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, adjust now, not tomorrow. Your life is not shaped by one big moment. It's shaped by thousands of small decisions that stack up into a legacy. Your name is on the line. Your future is on the line. Your identity is on the line. Act like it. Because you are building something bigger than a goal. You are building you. And that is the most important masterpiece you will ever create. Chapter 6. Handle money with the respect you wish to earn. There is a truth most people avoid because it forces them to confront their habits, not their dreams. Money doesn't change who you are. It amplifies what you already do. If you're careless with a little, you'll be reckless with a lot. If you ignore your finances when you're earning small, you'll drown when you're earning big. If you spend emotionally when life is easy, you'll panic financially when life gets hard. People think the rich become rich after they get money. But it's the opposite. They become rich before they get money. In mindset, discipline, and behavior. You don't need more income to be wealthy. You need more respect for the money you already have. If you want money to respect you, you must respect it first. Money is not emotional. It doesn't respond to hope, stress, or desire. It responds to structure. It responds to discipline. It responds to clarity. It responds to responsibility. Most people wait until one day to get serious. One day when they earn more. One day when their life stabilizes. One day when things finally go right. But one day is where financial dreams go to die. Money doesn't reward wishful thinking. It rewards intentional behavior. Bad habits don't disappear when income goes up. They get worse. Here's something people rarely admit. It's not your income that keeps you stuck. It's your habits. If you waste $200 a month, you'll waste $2,000 a month. If you avoid tracking small expenses, you'll avoid tracking big ones. If you rely on impulse now, you'll rely on impulse forever. A lack of financial discipline is not harmless. It compounds into stress, chaos, and fear. And the more income you add to undisciplined habits, the faster the damage multiplies. This is why some people earn more and still never feel financially safe. They upgraded their lifestyle, but never upgraded their habits. Respecting money is not about living small. It's about living smart. People misunderstand financial discipline. They think it means deprivation, restriction, or fear. But discipline is not limitation. It is liberation. The purpose of money is not to look rich. It is to buy options, freedom, space, and peace. Respecting your money means tracking it, understanding it, directing it, protecting it, investing it, using it intentionally. It's not about living with less. It's about living with purpose. Your money reflects your values. If you want to know someone's priorities, look at two things: their calendar and their bank statement. Your spending reveals what you truly care about, not what you say you care about. If you say you want financial freedom, but your money goes to impulse spending, you're lying to yourself. If you say you want to build wealth, but you avoid learning about money, you're sabotaging yourself. Your money follows your habits, and your habits follow your mindset. You don't need more money. You need more awareness. Most people are not financially stuck because they don't earn enough. They're stuck because they don't see where their money goes. They live on autopilot. Spending unconsciously, buying emotionally, avoiding responsibility, hoping everything magically gets better. Hope is not a strategy. Awareness is. Financial awareness is the beginning of financial power. You cannot manage what you don't measure. If you don't track your money, you are not leading it. you are losing it. Debt is not a character flaw, but ignorance is a danger. Debt is not the enemy. Staying ignorant about debt is. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. If you are in debt, face it with honesty, track it with clarity, attack it with discipline. If you are overspending, accept the truth, not with shame, but with maturity. Financial maturity is admitting when something needs to change. The rich don't treat money like an emergency. They treat it like a system. What separates people who grow wealth from people who lose it? Not intelligence, not luck, not opportunity. Systems. Rich thinkers follow systems even when they feel emotional. Most people follow emotions even when they need systems. Here's what the wealthy consistently do. They track their spending. They invest early and often. They avoid emotional purchases. They use budgets as tools, not restrictions. They think long-term. They ask how money can work for them. They protect themselves from unnecessary debt. They separate financial identity from ego. Nothing here is about luxury. It's about responsibility. Money flows where it is respected. You don't need to be wealthy to act wealthy. You need discipline. You need clarity. You need intention. If you don't respect money, it leaves. If you treat it casually, it disappears. If you direct it with purpose, it grows. Money is not loyal to ignorance. It is loyal to competence. Financial freedom is built quietly, not loudly. You won't build wealth by impressing people. You won't build wealth by acting rich. You won't build wealth by chasing trends. You build wealth by consistency, awareness, small smart decisions, daily discipline, saying no more often, learning relentlessly. Wealth is rarely loud. It grows in silence. It grows in spreadsheets. It grows in decisions no one sees. Ask yourself the only question that matters. If money was watching how you treat it right now, would it trust you with more? Would it see discipline or carelessness? Would it see structure or chaos? Would it see a future or avoidance? The answer to that question will tell you everything about your financial destiny. This is not about perfection. It's about respect. Respect for your goals. Respect for your future. Respect for your mental peace. Respect for the life you want to build. Money is a tool, a powerful one, but only for those who treat it with maturity. If you desire financial freedom, you must behave like someone who deserves it. Not someday, but today. Handle money with the respect you wish to earn, and eventually, money will respect you back in the form of options, peace, stability, and freedom. Chapter 7. Copy the routines of people already living your goals. There is a shortcut in life almost nobody uses, not because it's hard, but because it requires humility. Study people who already have the results you want, and copy their routines until your discipline catches up. Not their lifestyle, not their personality, not their image, their routines, their habits, their structure, their standards. Everything successful people have on the outside was built by what they do on the inside. Daily, consistently, quietly. You don't need more inspiration. You don't need more guessing. You don't need another fresh start. You need a proven blueprint. Success is not a mystery, it's a system. Most people act like success is hidden behind luck, talent, or destiny. It's not. The patterns are visible. The routines are public. The structure is repeatable. If you observe closely, you'll notice something powerful. People who succeed don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems that make motivation unnecessary. Their routines protect them when their feelings try to sabotage them. Their habits stabilize them when life gets unpredictable. Their structure keeps them consistent when excitement disappears. Success isn't magical. It's mechanical. Your current habits are perfectly designed for your current life. If your life feels stagnant, it's because your habits match stagnation. If your results feel average, your routines are average. If you're overwhelmed, your system is reactive, not intentional. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your daily patterns. You can dream big. You can plan big. You can say all the right words. But if your habits remain the same, your life will too. That's why copying successful routines is not imitation. It's acceleration. Find people who already live what you want. You don't need to know them personally. They can be authors, entrepreneurs, creators, athletes, speakers, CEOs, anyone who embodies what you're trying to build. Ask yourself, who already has the discipline I want? Who already treats time the way I want to treat mine? Who already moves with the level of intention I admire? Who already lives with clarity, focus, and purpose? Who already behaves like the person I'm trying to become? Study them, not for comparison, but for extraction. You're not copying their identity. You're borrowing their blueprint. The habits that build greatness are public. People just ignore them. Look closely, and you'll see recurring patterns among high performers. They plan their day before the day plans them. They treat mornings like a foundation. They protect their focus like it's oxygen. They say no more than they say yes. They learn every day, even a little. They schedule growth, not hope for it. They review, adjust, and improve instead of repeating mistakes. They surround themselves with people who operate at a higher standard. They don't rely on mood. They rely on systems. None of this requires talent. None of this requires luck. All of this requires discipline. And discipline grows fastest when you copy what's already proven. You aren't copying a person. You're copying excellence. People misunderstand this. They think following successful routines means losing originality. But the opposite is true. Structure frees creativity. Discipline unlocks potential. Proven habits create space for your uniqueness. Every master learned from another master. Every champion once followed someone else's footsteps. Every great thinker studied those who came before them. What matters is not that you copy forever, but that you copy long enough for the habits to become your own. The right routines will save you years of wasted effort. You can struggle for a decade trying to create your own system, or you can borrow one that already works. You can guess for years, or you can model a blueprint that's been tested. You can waste energy reinventing basic habits, or you can conserve that energy for actual growth. Success leaves clues. Most people walk past them. Don't be one of them. Stop guessing. Start studying. Here are questions that reveal everything about someone's success. How do they start their morning? What do they avoid completely? What time do they wake up? What's their nightly routine? How do they protect their energy? How do they limit distractions? What do they read? Who do they listen to? What do they track daily? How do they manage setbacks? How do they schedule their priorities? Do not study their results. Study their behaviors. Success is built by repetition, not revelation. Apply what you learn. Daily, not someday. Copy their habits until the structure becomes natural. Copy how they plan their week. Copy how they prepare for the day. Copy how they say no to distractions. Copy how they manage stress. Copy how they stay organized. Copy how they recover after a bad day. You don't need a perfect routine. You need a consistent one. Start small. One habit, one practice, one daily system. Then, build from there. You know you're growing when your old self feels unfamiliar. There will come a moment when you realize you're no longer forcing discipline. You're living it. Your standards rise naturally. Your focus sharpens effortlessly. Your decisions align automatically. That's when you understand. You didn't copy someone else. You transformed yourself. The fastest way to become the person you envision. It's not wishing. It's not motivating yourself endlessly. It's not relying on emotion. It's this. Find someone who has what you want. Copy how they got there. Repeat until it becomes yours. This isn't imitation. It's intelligence. The blueprint exists. The systems exist. The discipline is visible. The routines are public. Your job is to follow through. Not once, not for a week, but until consistency becomes identity. Chapter 8. Say no to things that waste your inner energy. Your energy is the most valuable currency you have. More valuable than time. More valuable than money. More valuable than inspiration or opportunity. Because without energy, you can't think clearly. Without energy, you can't take action. Without energy, you can't grow, focus, or move your life forward. Yet most people protect their money more fiercely than their energy. And that is exactly why they stay exhausted, overwhelmed, and mentally scattered. If you want to live with power, clarity, and direction, you must learn one skill that will transform everything. The ability to say no, confidently, cleanly, and without apology. Your energy is not unlimited. Stop living like it is. Every day, you wake up with a limited amount of mental, emotional, and spiritual energy. You can spend it wisely on your goals, your growth, your future, or you can leak it carelessly on noise, drama, distractions, and people who drain you. Most people live like energy magically refills itself no matter how they waste it. It doesn't. You cannot build a strong life with a weak energy system, and you cannot build a focused mind if your attention is being pulled in 20 directions at once. Energy is life force. Protect it. You're not tired. You're overexposed. Many people say, I'm burnout, I'm tired, I'm unmotivated. But the real problem is this. They say yes to everything. They say yes to invitations they don't enjoy. They say yes to conversations that drain their soul. They say yes to tasks that don't matter. They say yes to people who take and take and take. They say yes to habits that weaken their mind. They say yes to distractions that steal hours of their life. It's not that they lack motivation. It's that they have no energy left for the things that matter. You cannot build a powerful life if your attention is constantly bleeding out through the small holes of unnecessary commitments. Saying no is decision, not disrespect. People fear saying no because they don't want to disappoint others. But here's the harsh truth. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you are saying no to yourself. You are saying no to your goals, no to your growth, no to your discipline, no to your future. You owe other people kindness, but you owe yourself priority. Saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you intentional. Protect your energy like you. Protect your home. Imagine leaving your front door wide open all day, letting random people walk in and out, touch everything, move things around, take what they want, and leave a mess behind. You would never allow that in your physical home. Yet people allow it in their mental home every single day. Your attention is invaded. Your peace is interrupted. Your mind is cluttered. Your energy is stolen. Close the door. Set boundaries. Control who gets access to your emotional space. Pay attention to what drains you. Your energy never lies. If you walk away from a person feeling empty, a task feeling numb, a habit feeling worse, a routine feeling disconnected, then your body is sending you a message. This is not aligned with who I'm trying to become. Stop ignoring those signals. Your body knows what your mind refuses to admit. Your no has power. Use it without apology. When you start saying no, you reclaim your strength. You regain mental sharpness. You regain emotional clarity. Say no to drama, gossip, toxic people, repetitive negativity, conversations that go nowhere, habits that numb your mind, noise that kills your focus, people who drain your peace, environments that shrink you, obligations that rob your joy, activities that don't align with your goals. Your job is not to attend every event, respond to every message, accept every invitation, or rescue every person. Your job is to build a life that feels aligned with your purpose. You can't grow if you're overcommitted to what doesn't matter. Growth requires energy. Healing requires energy. Discipline requires energy. Focus requires energy. You cannot give your best to your future if all your strength is being consumed by your past patterns. You must create space. You must remove what drains you. You must protect what builds you. Saying no is a skill, one that transforms your life. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. You'll worry people won't like it. You'll fear disappointing them. You'll feel guilty for prioritizing yourself. But in time, you will realize people who truly respect you will respect your boundaries too. People who get angry at your boundaries were benefiting from your lack of them. Let them walk away. You are not losing anyone. You are losing the weight that was holding you back. When you protect your energy, your life changes. Once you start saying no to the wrong things, your mind becomes clearer. Your confidence rises. Your progress speeds up. Your discipline sharpens. Your vision becomes stronger. Your emotional stability increases. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop feeling pulled apart and start feeling aligned. You stop feeling scattered and start feeling powerful. Because the truth is simple. Your energy determines your direction, and your direction determines your destiny. The more you say no, the more your future says yes. Say no to distractions, and your focus returns. Say no to draining people, and your peace returns. Say no to unnecessary commitments, and your time returns. Say no to what weakens you, and your strength returns. Say no to what pulls you backward, and your future pulls you forward. If you want to move your life to the next level, you must protect what fuels you and silence what drains you. Your energy is the foundation of everything. Treat it as sacred. Guard it fiercely. Because when your energy is yours again, nothing can stop you. Chapter 9. Trust long-term effort more than short-term motivation. If you want to understand why most people never transform their life, here's the answer. They trust motivation. They rely on emotion. They wait for a feeling. But motivation is unreliable, unstable, inconsistent. It comes fast and leaves fast. It's explosive, but short-lived, like a match that lights up quickly and dies just as quickly. You cannot build a powerful life on something that burns out the moment difficulty appears. You cannot depend on motivation to build your future. The people who win are not the most motivated. They are the most consistent. Motivation is a spark. Effort is an engine. Motivation gets you excited. Effort gets you results. Motivation pushes you once. Effort brings you back again and again. Motivation gets you started. Effort builds the identity of someone who finishes. Motivation is emotional. Effort is intentional. You cannot rely on something that behaves like the weather. You cannot allow your life to rise and fall based on a feeling. Effort is the only thing that stays. The only thing that compounds. The only thing that builds character. You are not supposed to feel motivated every day. Most people quit because they think they're supposed to feel inspired every morning. They think the lack of motivation means something is wrong with them. They think discipline should feel exciting every day. But the truth is simple. You were never meant to feel motivated daily. You were meant to act anyway. Motivation is a mood. Effort is a decision. If you wait for motivation, you will waste months. If you rely on effort, you will build a future. Effort is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Every time you choose effort over comfort, your identity shifts. You become someone who follows through, someone who can trust themselves, someone who does the work even when it's not glamorous. This is the foundation of confidence, not hype, not inspiration, not excitement. Confidence comes from effort, repeated until it becomes who you are. You don't rise to your goals, you rise to your habits, and habits are built through effort, not emotion. Short-term motivation makes you feel good. Long-term effort makes you unstoppable. There are people who sprint for a week and quit for a month. People who start with passion, but disappear when challenges show up. People who chase the new because they cannot tolerate the repetition that growth requires. These people live in cycles. Start, get excited, slow down, quit, feel guilty, start again. It's exhausting. It's discouraging. It feels like failure. But it's not failure. It's just a lack of structure. Break the cycle with consistency. Build a routine that doesn't depend on how you feel. Make effort your foundation, not motivation. The hardest days are the most important days. Anyone can work hard when they're excited. Anyone can show up when results are visible. Anyone can move when everything feels new and rewarding. But winners show up when they don't feel like it. Nobody is watching. Progress is invisible. The routine feels boring. Their mood is low. Their energy is inconsistent. Those days forge identity. Those days build inner strength. Those days separate the exceptional from the average. If you only work when you're motivated, you'll never grow. If you work when you're unmotivated, you'll become unstoppable. Effort compounds silently. The biggest results don't come from dramatic bursts. They come from quiet accumulation, like drops of water, carving stone over time. You won't see change every day, but every day builds the change. One day, your progress will become visible, and it'll look overnight. But it wasn't. It was the effort you invested when nobody noticed. The key is to build routines that carry you when your feelings can't. Highly successful people don't rely on excitement. They rely on systems, structure, non-negotiables, identity-driven habits, discipline anchored in purpose. This is not cold. This is not robotic. This is maturity. Your routine becomes your anchor, the thing that carries you on days when emotion cannot. Stop chasing feelings. Start building foundations. Feelings are inconsistent. Foundations are dependable. Feelings come and go. Foundations stay. Feelings are short-term. Foundations are long-term. Build a foundation through effort, not because you feel like it, but because your future needs it. The most powerful question you can ask yourself when you wake up, don't ask, "Do I feel motivated today?" Ask, "What would the disciplined version of me do right now?" And then do that. No debate, no delay, no negotiation. Let effort lead. Let consistency build. Let discipline stabilize. Because your feelings are not the architect of your life. Your habits are. The winner's mindset. Here's what separates people who win from those who quit. Winners don't expect excitement. Winners expect repetition. Winners don't wait for motivation. Winners show up through boredom. Winners don't need the feeling. They need the result. They understand a secret that changes everything. Motivation is loud, but effort is loyal. Trust what's loyal. Build with what lasts. Let effort become your identity, and you will never fear losing motivation again. Chapter 10. Build your day around actions that create real progress. Your day is not just a collection of hours. It is the blueprint of your future. Every day you live is casting a vote for the person you become. And whether you realize it or not, you are already living inside the results of your past days. The choices you made, the habits you repeated, the distractions you allowed, the structure you did or didn't have. Here is a truth most people ignore. Your life improves when your days improve. Your days improve when your decisions improve. Your decisions improve when your priorities improve. You don't need a better year. You need a better day. Repeat it until it becomes your new normal. If you don't lead your day will lead you. Most people wake up and fall straight into reaction mode. They check their phone. They start responding to other people's demands. They get pulled into noise before their mind has even woken up. From that moment on, they spend the rest of the day chasing what's urgent instead of doing what's important. Here's the problem. If you don't take control of your day early, life will take it from you. Someone will distract you. A notification will hijack your attention. An unexpected task will steal your focus. Your day will always fill itself. The question is, will it fill itself with progress or noise? Business does not equal productivity. Many people end their day exhausted but unchanged, tired but not transformed, busy but not better. They confuse motion with progress, but motion without direction is chaos. You can spend 8 hours doing tasks that don't matter and still convince yourself you worked hard. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters consistently. A life filled with busyness is a life with no boundaries. A life filled with progress is a life built by design. Progress is built through intention, not accident. Real progress happens when you stop asking, "What do I feel like doing?" and start asking, "What will move my life forward?" This one shift separates people who repeat years from people who evolve rapidly. You must build your day with intention. Like an architect designs a building, like a leader directs a team, like someone who understands their life is created, not inherited. Start your day with yourself, not the world. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. You don't need a 2-hour morning routine. You don't need a perfect ritual. You don't need something expensive or elaborate. You need 15 minutes of ownership, 5 minutes of clarity. Sit with your thoughts before the world intrudes. 5 minutes of planning. Decide your top priorities intentionally. 5 minutes of grounding. Move your body, breathe deeply, or read something strengthening. That's it. The point is not the length. The point is control. If the first thing you give your mind is chaos, don't be surprised when the rest of the day follows. Choose 3 actions that make your day a win. Not 10, not 20, not a whole overloaded to-do list. 3 actions that, if completed, move your life forward. 3 actions that align with your goals. 3 actions that build momentum. Ask yourself, what 3 things will make me proud tonight? These become non-negotiable, protected, prioritized. Everything else is optional. Most people fail, not because they aim too high, but because they make their days too complicated. Clarity wins. Focus wins. Simplicity wins. Your day should serve your future, not your distractions. Open your calendar. Look at how you spend your hours. How much of it reflects the life you want to live? How much of it reflects the habits you're trying to break? How much of it is intentional? How much of it is accidental? Your day reveals your truth. Not your words, not your goals, not your dreams. You can't talk your way into a better future. You must schedule your way into one. Remove what wastes your time. Growth requires subtraction just as much as addition. Say no to excessive scrolling, mindless entertainment, tasks that feel productive but aren't, conversations that go nowhere, doing everything for everyone, overcommitting, multitasking, which destroys focus. Every hour wasted on distractions is an hour stolen from your future. Time management isn't about managing time. It's about managing attention. Make your routine boring. That's where greatness hides. People chase novelty, excitement, and something new. But extraordinary results come from a life that is consistently structured. Your routine should be simple, clean, repeatable, boring even. Waking up at the same time, doing the same core habits, working on your priorities daily, reviewing your day, refining where needed. Boring builds mastery. Boring builds focus. Boring builds a life that works. Your emotions don't build your future. Your repetitions do. If your day isn't built around progress, don't expect progress. People want a big life, but live small days. They want transformation, but repeat the same patterns. They want results, but avoid structure. Your day is your destiny in miniature form. Fix the day, and the future fixes itself. The fastest way to change your life. It's not a major transformation. It's not a sudden breakthrough. It's not a dramatic shift. It's small, intentional decisions, executed consistently, protected fiercely, and repeated daily. Ask yourself every morning, what would a disciplined, focused, future-driven version of me do today? Then build your day around that answer. Not your mood, not your fear, not your doubts, not your distractions, your future. Real progress is quiet, but it's unmissable. You won't always feel the change day to day, but over weeks and months, your life will start to look different. Not because you made one big leap, but because you built one strong day, then repeated it. Your days are creating you. Design them intentionally. Lead them consciously. Fill them with actions that matter. That's how you build a life you're proud of. Not someday. Not when things feel perfect. Today. One day at a time. Chapter 11. Live with standards that match. The life you want. There comes a point in every person's journey where goals are no longer the problem. Dreams aren't the problem. Motivation isn't the problem. The real problem is this. Their standards don't match the life they say they want. People want more money with minimum effort. People want more respect with inconsistent discipline. People want better results while maintaining average habits. People want transformation while keeping the same identity. But life doesn't bend to hopes. It bends to standards. Your standard is not what you say. It's what you consistently do. Most people define their standards with words, but standards are not spoken. They are lived. Your standard is the work you do when no one is watching, the boundaries you keep, the habits you repeat, the goals you prioritize, the level of effort you accept from yourself, the environment you allow yourself to stay in. Your current life is built from your past standards. Your future life will be built from the standards you set today. You cannot achieve a high-level life with low-level standards. You can't outrun this truth. You can't bypass it with luck or shortcuts. You can't fake it with positivity or pretty words. If your standards are low, your life will reflect it. If your standards rise, your life rises with them. Rich mindsets are built on standards like, I finish what I start. I don't negotiate my priorities. I don't let emotions dictate my discipline. I protect my time. I give my best effort even on slow days. I choose environments that elevate me. These are not rules. These are identities. You get what you tolerate. Your life cannot exceed the behavior you tolerate from yourself. If you tolerate distraction, you will drown in it. If you tolerate inconsistency, you will always start over. If you tolerate poor habits, they will destroy your momentum. If you tolerate excuses, they will become your belief system. But the exact moment, you say, "This is no longer acceptable for me," your life changes direction, not because the world shifts, but because you do. Raise your standard of effort. Most people think they need more talent. They don't. They need more effort. Effort that is cleaner. Effort that is consistent. Effort that is intentional. Rich thinkers don't work harder because they enjoy struggle. They work harder because they hold themselves to a higher standard. I will do the work, even if no one notices. I will do the work even when it feels repetitive. I will do the work even when motivation is gone. That level of effort builds lives other people admire. Raise your standard of focus. You cannot build anything meaningful in a distracted mind. You cannot become powerful with scattered attention. You cannot create results when 80% of your energy leaks into noise. Raising your focus standard means eliminating low-quality habits, protecting your deep work blocks, saying no more often, avoiding environments that weaken you, building a life that supports concentration. Success is not loud. It is focused. Raise your standard of who you allow around you. Your environment will make or break you. You rise or fall to the standards of the people closest to you. Some people drain you quietly. Some people normalize mediocrity. Some people talk big, but live small. Some people kill your ambition without even trying. Rich mindset individuals surround themselves with high-discipline people, thinkers, not complainers, builders, not blamers, people who speak with intention, people who grow themselves. Your circle is either lifting your standards or lowering them. Choose intentionally. Raise your standard of self-respect. Your life will never improve beyond the level of respect you have for yourself. Self-respect is not about pampering. It's about responsibility. Self-respect sounds like, I don't break promises to myself. I treat my goals like obligations, not suggestions. I don't settle for the bare minimum. I don't tolerate habits that make me ashamed. Self-respect is the root of all long-term discipline. Raise your standard of decision-making. Every decision you make is a vote for your future identity. Most people make decisions based on convenience, emotion, laziness, fear, impatience. Rich thinkers make decisions based on alignment, long-term gain, identity, discipline, standards. Most of your stress comes from decisions made without standards. Most of your growth will come from decisions made with them. The shift happens when your standards stop being negotiable. You cannot become your best self by negotiating with your worst habits. You cannot rise while staying loyal to your lower self. Your new life begins the moment you say, "No more lowering my standards to match my mood. No more letting discomfort lead me. No more breaking agreements with myself. No more living in reactions. No more choosing easy over meaningful." This is not pressure. This is power. Build standards that are stronger than your excuses. Excuses come and go. Standards stay. Excuses are emotional. Standards are structural. Excuses change with your mood. Standards change your life. When your standards rise high enough, you won't need motivation. You won't need hype. You won't need reminders. Your standards will carry you. Your identity will carry you. Your habits will carry you. Your routine will carry you. The future you want has a price, and that price is standards. You are capable of the life you envision, but capability is not enough. Potential is not enough. Desire is not enough. You must upgrade the rules you live by. Your standards are the gatekeepers of your destiny. Raise them, and your life will rise with them. Chapter 12. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Winners move before they feel ready. If you look back at the moments that changed your life, you'll notice something surprising. None of them happened when everything felt perfect. None of them happened when you were fully prepared. None of them happened when you felt absolutely confident. They happened because you moved. Here's the truth most people ignore. The perfect moment is a myth. Readiness is a feeling that rarely arrives. Certainty is a luxury you earn only after you act. But most people live their entire lives waiting. Waiting for clarity, waiting for confidence, waiting for timing, waiting for a sign, waiting for motivation, waiting for things to align. And in that waiting, their potential evaporates. Their dreams gather dust. Their goals remain fantasies. Life doesn't give you readiness. It gives you opportunities. Opportunities come disguised as uncertainty. Your next level will always feel slightly out of reach. Your biggest breakthroughs will always feel uncomfortable at the start. This is why winners win. They act before they feel ready. They move before they understand everything. They start before they have confidence. Confidence doesn't come first. Movement does. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to begin. Waiting feels safe. It feels responsible. It makes you believe you're being patient or thoughtful or cautious. But waiting has a dark side. Every month you wait, fear grows. Every week you wait, doubt strengthens. Every day you wait, you reinforce the belief that you're not ready. Waiting becomes a habit, a pattern, an identity. You start believing you need more. More time, more knowledge, more money, more experience, more motivation. But if more were the answer, you'd already have moved. The world rewards action, not potential. You can be talented and go nowhere. You can be smart and stay stuck. You can be capable and still watch someone else take the life that could have been yours. Potential has no value without action. Ideas have no value without execution. Desire has no value without discipline. The world does not respond to what you can do. It responds to what you do. You don't need permission. You need decision. This is where most people get trapped. They secretly wait for someone else to validate their next step. A sign, a green light, an approval. But here's the harsh truth. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to push you. Nobody is coming to hand you confidence. Your life changes when you change. Your direction shifts when you decide. Your path begins when you start walking. You don't need a sign. Your desire is the sign. Progress belongs to people who move while others plan. There are two types of people. 1. The planners. They think, analyze, imagine, prepare, overthink, wait, and delay. Their ideas stay in their mind forever. They feel smart, but change nothing. 2. The movers. They start imperfect. They learn along the way. They improve through experience. They take risks without having every answer. Movers build the future. Planners watch them. Every great success story looks reckless in the beginning, but the only thing riskier than acting early is waiting too long. You grow into readiness through action. Readiness isn't a prerequisite. It's a result. You become confident by doing the thing you're afraid of. You become capable by starting before you feel skilled. You become experienced by showing up before you feel prepared. The muscle of readiness develops through repetition, not contemplation. You don't need the perfect version of yourself to start. You need the version of yourself who is willing. Perfection is the biggest thief of progress. Perfection sounds noble, but it is fear wearing a mask. Perfection says, let me plan more. Let me think more. Let me prepare more. Let me wait until I'm certain. But perfection is a trap. It keeps you safe, but stuck. Comfortable, but unfulfilled. Busy, but unchanged. Your future does not need perfect. It needs present. It needs progress. It needs persistence. The first step is always the hardest and the most important. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel unfamiliar. Your brain will try to protect you with excuses. What if I fail? What if I'm not ready? What if I look stupid? What if it doesn't work out? But here's a better question. What if waiting costs you the version of life you were born to live? Every transformation starts with one moment of courage, one yes, one step. After that, momentum carries you. If you don't start now, when? Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. Next year becomes regret. You don't need more time. You need more truth. If you don't begin now, you probably never will. The moment you choose action over hesitation, your life accelerates. Start before you feel ready. The world makes space for the bold. When you move, life responds differently. Opportunities appear. People notice. Your confidence rises. Your identity strengthens. Action sends a signal to the universe. I am serious. I am committed. I am becoming. And doors open for those who walk toward them. This is the secret, winners. Understand. Movement is the cure. Action is the teacher. Courage is the catalyst. Readiness is built, not found. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start creating it. Right here, right now. Before you feel ready. Chapter 13. Discipline is a form of self-love, not self-punishment. People misunderstand discipline more than anything else. They think it's harsh, strict, heavy, punishing. They treat discipline like a prison. They treat structure like a burden. They treat routines like chains. But here is the truth that will change your life. Discipline is not something you do to yourself. It is something you do for yourself. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a form of self-respect. It is self-protection. It is self-honoring. It is self-love at its highest level. Discipline protects the future you imagine your future self, stronger, happier, wealthier, calmer, standing in front of you. What do they need from you today? They don't need ease. They don't need comfort. They don't need indulgence. They need consistency, effort, clarity, boundaries, healthy habits, intentional decisions, the courage to say no, the commitment to show up. Discipline is how you protect the future version of you from the mistakes the current version might make. Discipline says, I care about who I become. Undisciplined days are the real self-punishment. Think about this carefully. What causes more pain in your life? Not going to the gym or feeling weak in your body? Not saving money or feeling anxious every time a bill appears? Not building habits or feeling regret years later? Not setting boundaries or being exhausted by people who drain you? Not working on your dreams or watching someone else live the life you wanted? The lack of discipline hurts far more than the presence of discipline ever will. Discipline is temporary discomfort. Regret is permanent suffering. Discipline makes life easier, not harder. People think discipline creates difficulty, but the opposite is true. Discipline creates clearer days, less decision fatigue, fewer emotional spirals, more stability, more control, more confidence, more momentum. Undisciplined people fight battles. Disciplined people never have to face. When you practice small discipline daily, life becomes lighter, not heavier. Discipline isn't about force, it's about alignment. You don't need to bully yourself. You don't need to be harsh. You don't need to be aggressive. Discipline is not about pushing. It's about choosing. Choosing what aligns with your highest self. Choosing what honors your future. Choosing what protects your peace. Choosing what builds your identity. Discipline is the art of saying, I choose what serves me, not what distracts me. Self-love is not only soft. Sometimes it is strong. Self-love is not always gentle. Sometimes self-love looks like going to bed earlier, closing the app, canceling the plan, cutting ties, waking up on time, working when you don't feel like it, respecting your limits, choosing the better meal, saying no to short-term pleasure. Self-love is not only comfort, it is also responsibility. Discipline is a language, and your future self understands it. Every disciplined act sends a message. I am investing in you. I am building you. I am protecting you. I am choosing the long game over the quick escape. When you act with discipline, you tell your future self, you matter. That message becomes confidence. That confidence becomes momentum. That momentum becomes transformation. The more disciplined you become, the more free you feel. People think discipline steals freedom, but discipline creates freedom. Freedom from anxiety, chaos, procrastination, regret, financial stress, physical discomfort, emotional instability. Freedom to grow, build, focus, create, earn, rest, live with peace. Discipline gives you back control of your life. Discipline feels hard. Only when you're fighting the old version of yourself. The resistance you feel isn't against the habit. It's against the identity that no longer fits you. Every time you choose discipline, you weaken the old version of you and strengthen the new one. Your excuses lose power. Your patterns lose grip. Your old self loses control. This is transformation in real time. Discipline should come from love, not fear. You are not disciplining yourself because you're not good enough. You are disciplining yourself because you deserve better. You deserve a clear mind, a strong body, stable finances, fulfilling relationships, a powerful identity, a future you're proud of. Discipline is how you claim those things. The highest form of love is commitment to your own growth. Any person can love themselves when they feel amazing, but true self-love shows up on the days when it's hard, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you're overwhelmed, when you doubt yourself. That's when discipline matters most, not because the task is important, but because you are. You deserve a life you can be proud of, and discipline is the bridge to that life, not punishment, not pressure, not perfection. Discipline is the daily act of saying, I believe in my future more than I believe in my comfort. You are not being hard on yourself. You are being loyal to yourself. This is not self-restriction. This is self-respect. This is self-elevation. This is self-love. Live from that place, and you will become someone you deeply admire. Chapter 14. Protect your peace. Like it's part of your success plan. There is a part of success no one talks about. Not in school, not in business, not in self-help books. Yet it is the foundation that makes discipline, clarity, focus, and long-term consistency possible. Your peace. We live in a world that glorifies hustle, noise, distraction, comparison, and endless stimulation. But a chaotic mind cannot build a powerful life. A drained mind cannot stay disciplined. An overwhelmed mind cannot stay focused. Most people fail not because they lack ambition, but because their mind is too noisy to hear their own direction. Protecting your peace isn't weakness. It isn't avoidance. It isn't laziness. It is strategy. It is stability. It is strength. Peace is a form of power. When your mind is calm, you think better. When your emotions are stable, you decide better. When your environment is clean, you act better. When your boundaries are strong, you live better. Peace gives you clarity, confidence, focus, emotional intelligence, better habits, higher standards, stronger identity. Chaos steals all of it. Your peace is not a luxury. It is a requirement for a successful life. Not everyone should have access to you. Some people bring energy. Some people drain it. Some lift you. Some limit you. Some help you grow. Some pull you backward. Protecting your peace means accepting a truth many avoid. Not everyone deserves your time, attention, or emotional availability. You don't need to hate them. You don't need to fight them. You don't need to explain anything. Just limit their access. Distance is a form of wisdom. Your peace is a direct reflection of your boundaries. Peace doesn't disappear on its own. It's taken by notifications, by draining relationships, by overcommitting, by saying yes when you should say no, by keeping people in your life who belong in your past. Every boundary you avoid creates a leak in your peace. Every boundary you enforce strengthens it. You teach people how to treat you, but more importantly, you teach yourself how you deserve to be treated. Peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of control. A calm life isn't a life without stress. It's a life where you don't let stress run the show. Protecting your peace means controlling your reactions, choosing your battles, avoiding unnecessary drama, refusing to be triggered easily, recognizing when your emotions are being manipulated, staying grounded even when life is chaotic. This is emotional leadership. This is inner mastery. Reduce what drains you. Increase what renews you. Ask yourself, what activities make me feel heavy? What conversations leave me anxious? What environments drain my motivation? Who makes my mind noisy instead of clear? Which habits give me stress instead of growth? Once you identify your energy leaks, your life becomes simpler to clean up. Then ask, what brings me calm? What helps me think clearly? What strengthens my discipline? What resets my mind? What habits make me feel like myself again? Double down on those. Your peace is found in the balance between what you eliminate and what you nurture. Peace is a high-income skill. People underestimate how valuable peace is. You make better financial decisions. You avoid impulsive choices. You stay consistent with habits. You communicate more effectively. You avoid burnout. You attract healthier relationships. You move smarter, not harder. Successful people are not the ones who work the most. They're the ones who think the clearest. And clear thinking requires peace. Distance creates clarity. Sometimes the only way to see a situation clearly is to step back from it. Distance doesn't mean disconnection. It means perspective. You think better when you're not emotionally tangled. You grow faster when you're not surrounded by chaos. You evolve more easily when you're not stuck in environments that shrink you. Protecting your peace gives you the mental altitude to make high-level decisions. Protect your peace like your life depends on it, because it does. Your peace determines your discipline, productivity, physical health, emotional stability, financial decisions, mental strength, relationships, long-term success. Chaos destroys all of these. Peace strengthens all of these. This is why peace is not passive. It is proactive. You must choose it, defend it, prioritize it, and refuse to let anything or anyone take it from you. Peace makes you unreactive, and therefore unstoppable people with no peace react to everything. They get triggered easily. They chase distractions. They fall into drama. They lose focus fast. People with peace respond with intention. They stay grounded. They rise above noise. They choose logic over impulse. They move with maturity, not emotion. Once you learn to stay calm in the middle of chaos, you become someone the world cannot shake. You cannot build a powerful life with a restless mind. Your peace is not optional. It is foundational. Protect it fiercely. Guard it unapologetically. Choose it intentionally. Treat it as part of your success plan. Because when your mind is calm, your life becomes unstoppable.